Hello, RoahmMythril here once again, with a special bit of a developer commentary video. Back in I think it was about March or April of this year, I had to take a break from the Battle Network 4 project. The reason I gave was that there was a secret project I was working on for a friend that was kinda time sensitive, and I couldn't really go into too many details because they wanted me to keep it secret. Well, the time has finally come that I can reveal what it was. A special bonus post-game level for the MaGLX2 competition held by Rauchhaus Talkhouse forums. It was a contest for making stages in the Super Mario Bros. X engine. I didn't actually participate in the contest proper because I didn't really know how to use the engine at the time, but Horikawa Otane, one of the main judges for the contest, they contacted me through Pink's forums and asked me if I wanted to take part in the post-game. So I said that sounded like fun. They sent me the engine, hooked me up with some tutorial videos, and basically that's what I was doing at the time, learning a new engine from the ground up. Thankfully, Super Mario Bros. X, or SMBX for short, is fairly intuitive, so I was able to learn it pretty quickly. So, I made my post-game level, and here it is, Toadman. Obviously the joke is we're playing as Toad, and we also have Toadman the Robot Master. You just go on ahead, I'm gonna just sit here and mope. Stupid crazy mad scientists, I didn't ask to have such an easy to manipulate AI. Poor Toadman, I've always felt kinda sorry for him. Thankfully there are plenty of fan games and ROM hacks that make him a force to be reckoned with, they turn him up to 11. So with that, down the pipe we go. And boss intro. This screen actually caused some problems. Since Chegg had more experience with the engine than I did, I was asking him to playtest to make sure everything was working properly. And for some reason, that room wasn't. It kept freezing for him, and he didn't know why. Thankfully, Horikawa knew what the issue was. In later versions of SMBX, apparently it's a problem that if music files are too high quality, it causes the engine to crash. So she dumbed down the music and it worked just fine. So basically we have a recreation of the Jewel Man stage going on here. It's my favorite stage from the classic series, so it's just kind of personal fan service. We also have some repurposed enemies, like the Mets here are Sniffets, so you can pick them up and throw them and all that good stuff. We also have the Pharaoh Shot, that's a repurposed Fire Flower. And we also have Spin Cutters. I forget what that enemy is actually called as far as Mario's concerned. It's that green spiny egg that never hatches and it just chases you around. I've heard it referred to as a friction ball. So, inspiration for using the Fire Flower as Pharaoh Shot came from the fact that Toad can hold the fireball over his head, and thus it really looks like the Pharaoh Shot to me. The energy pickups, those are just mushrooms. So yeah, the Spin Cutters, I originally tried to make them move faster to better mimic the ones actually in Mega Man 9. That caused problems to where they kept glitching into the walls and getting stuck there. We also have Day Spiders, those are repurposed fighter flies. And there's an obvious exit door there. We'll deal with that later on. Here we have the Freeze Cracker. It's the Ice Flower pickup, so we can freeze this spine, which is fittingly a spiny, I believe. Warning, some crazy blue robot just ran through here jumping on the swinging platforms. The stress on the chains has caused them to become very brittle. Please use caution when crossing. Basically a throwaway excuse for the fact that I couldn't really get the momentum swinging physics going here in SMBX, so I just went with that. You may have also noticed those bubble bats, those are swoopers of course. Warning, watch for falling rocks. So we have the midpoint, and we also have Thwomp, reskinned to be the Stoneface mid-boss from the Jewel Man stage. Animating the gates, it took quite a few event flags, but I'm very happy with the results. I really like how that turned out. So more bubble bats. I had to include them. We also have a hidden one up here. Basically, I just wanted an excuse to make that sprite. It was just silly enough of an idea that I had to use it. So we'll go with the Freeze Cracker again, because it kind of makes this area a bit easier. If I could hit this Picket Man. I forget if I talked about them yet, but they're obviously Hammer Brothers. Now, ultimately, I had wanted things like the Pharaoh Shot and the Freeze Cracker to just go in a straight line when thrown, instead of bouncing along the ground. but I couldn't really get that to work. I tried messing with the NPC flags. I tried doing things like turning off the gravity, and, well, it had an effect on them. Just not really the effect I was looking for. Seems like something that would be kind of fun to play with, though, as a gimmick. In fact, I think some of the MaGLX2 entries actually did play with that. So we have a little side passage there. We'll mess with that later on. And we have the rolling cutter. This is the Hammer Brothers suit. In the SMBX engine, when Toad gets the Hammer Brothers suit, it makes him throw boomerangs. So it's perfect for the rolling cutter. It can also take out thwomps. So get out of here, Stoneface. And we have the stage exit here. The Dr. Light logo, just to match the actual stage. And we have a fight with Jewel Man. Of course I couldn't get his AI to be exactly what it is in Mega Man 9. Instead of a full jewel satellite, he just occasionally summons jewels to throw at you, and they're basically Rinkas. If you take too long in the fight and lose your power-up, more rolling cutters will fall from the ceiling. That was a suggestion from Shag, and I'm kind of glad I went with it, because yeah, otherwise you get trapped in here. And that's no good. But having defeated Jewel Man, we get the Jewel Satellite, which is basically just the star so we can exit the level. I had people asking about this Toad sprite. I actually got it and modified it from Wario's Woods for the Super Nintendo. But with that, stage over. And so with that, time to cover the secret exit, so let's get right to it. I had so much fun making this stage. I'll definitely have to consider making more stuff with the engine. One thing I can go ahead and talk about here are the animated map tiles like the flashing gems there. In the SMBX engine, as far as I know, you can't just take a stationary map tile that has no animation and then give it animation just by adding more frames and telling it how to animate it. You actually have to take a pre-animated map tile. So the flashing gems are actually repurposed things like the colored switch blocks or the character switch blocks, things like that. Things I knew I wouldn't be using elsewhere in the stage. So it works well enough for my purposes, but I'm terrified as to what this place would look like without the custom assets loaded in. It would probably be a right mess. So we'll just move on here. Man, on the subject of fighter flies, I'm still a little annoyed that I can't get the fighter fly costume on Super Mario Maker. But hard mode Nat Attack is just unreasonable. So we have our exit door here, and it leads to this little room with another door. Only, you can't go in this door. You can carry it, though. This little thing was actually the first idea I had when I wanted to make this custom stage. The rest of the stage, the idea kind of came later on. But I knew I wanted to do just something very silly and surreal. I love things like the old Tex Avery cartoons that had the whole portable hole thing going on. So I want to do something like that. But hey, doors are powerful weapons. Just don't accidentally throw it down a pit, because that would be sad. We'll go ahead and get this just because, I mean, it's there, why not? I'm not quite sure what happened there. I just want to get rid of that picket man there. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, basically the door is easy enough to find, and once you know where it goes, it's simple enough to get the gimmick here. But really, the trick is just kind of babysitting the door long enough. Just safely getting it where it needs to go. But we're almost there. Right down this little side path. And we find ourselves in Neely's bar from Silent Hill 2. There was a door here. It's gone now. I had fun doing that. It was just a silly little thing I wanted to put in there, and I like how it turned out. So we have graphics here from Megamari, and a little creator cameo here. Basically, this is just some in-game developer commentary I wanted to do. Basically, everything I talked about, we've covered it here. Talking about that this was the first thing I made in SMBX. Had a lot of fun with it. Making the spin cutters go faster, but they got stuck in the ground. The hidden one-up. But here I have a little tech demo, just to show proof of concept. I did actually have a working spinning Joule satellite. But there was a problem. I couldn't actually get it to follow Joule Man when he started walking. Now I noticed that some people commented on RoahmCow's video that I could have just attached them to Joule Man's lair and that should have worked. Believe me, I tried that and it didn't work. Horikawa didn't know of a way to make it work either. Now, obviously there are some entries in the MaGLX2 contest where they made fire bars because that's what I was using for the Joule satellite. They did make fire bars move. So there's obviously a way to do it, but I'm not sure what it is. It might require a later version of the SMBX engine, or it might require, like, the Luna scripting. I have no idea how to use any of that. I didn't have time to learn it. So maybe that has to be used to make that work. But anyway, I'm happy enough with what I had going. And so, I have bunnies to feed. Yeah, you know me long enough, you know I have a weakness for bunnies. If I ever have my own place again, I'll have to look into getting a pet bunny. They're adorable. What's not to love? But anyway, before we grab this extra Joule satellite here, I just want to give my most heartfelt thanks to all my fans and supporters out there. I want to thank RoahmCow for being an awesome guy and an inspiration to me. I don't know that I would have started LPing if not for watching his videos. He was one of my major inspirations in getting started. My thanks to Horikawa Otane for asking me to participate in this project. My thanks to the Talkhouse in general for having this contest for me to be a part of. And also my thanks to Shag for helping me playtest. Thank you very much to everyone involved in this. I had a blast doing this. I will probably do more with SMBX later on. Heck, if there's a MaGLX3, maybe I'll participate. We shall see. But with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the developer commentary here, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well. I just said don't do that!